The sun was a traitor, sinking faster than I'd expected, leaving me stranded in a Utah valley with nothing but a dead phone and a fading sense of direction. My boots crunched against the rocky trail, each step heavier with the dread of being utterly, hopelessly lost. I was Elliot Harper, a 28-year-old graphic designer from Seattle, who thought a solo hike in Zion National Park would be the perfect escape from a breakup that still stung like an open wound. The trail had started innocently enough. Red cliffs towering like ancient guardians, air sharp with sage and pine. I come here chasing clarity after months of heartbreak. My ex, Ryan, had left me with a single text: "I can't do this anymore." No explanation, no goodbye, just a ghosting that hollowed me out. So I'd packed a bag, driven south, and picked a trail that promised solitude. But now, as twilight bled into the sky, solitude felt like a curse. My water was low, my map useless without light, and the vastness of the valley seemed to mock my city boy arrogance. I stumbled over a root, cursing under my breath, when a low whistle cut through the dusk. My heart lurched. I froze, scanning the shadowed landscape. A figure emerged from the haze, a silhouette on horseback, moving with the ease of someone born to this land. The rider stopped a few yards away, their hat tipped low, voice calm but firm. "You look like you're in a heap of trouble, stranger." I squinted, trying to make out their face in the dim light. Yeah, I'm lost," I admitted, my pride crumbling. "Phone's dead. No idea where the trailhead is." The rider dismounted, boots hitting the ground with a soft thud. As they stepped closer, I saw them clearly. Lean, sun-weathered, with short, sandy hair curling under a worn cowboy hat. Their eyes, a piercing hazel, studied me with a mix of amusement and concern. "Name's Sage Navarro," they said, offering a hand. "I'm a trail guide out here. Lucky for you, I was checking fences tonight." Sage, 32, was non-binary, their presence a quiet defiance of the world's need to box people in. They wore a faded denim shirt, sleeves rolled to the elbows, and moved with a confidence that made the wild feel like home. I shook their hand, my own clammy from panic. "Elliot, I'm not exactly built for this." Sage chuckled, a warm sound that eased the knot in my chest. "City folk never are. Come on, I've got a camp nearby. You can rest up, and I'll get you back to civilization come morning." I hesitated, glancing at the horse, a sturdy chestnut mare who snorted as if judging me. "You sure? I don't want to impose." "Ain't no imposition," Sage said, already swinging back onto the saddle. "Unless you'd rather sleep with the coyotes." I climbed onto the horse behind Sage, my arms awkwardly circling their waist. The mare, named Juniper, plodded forward, and the rhythm of her steps steadied my racing heart. Sage's back was warm against my chest, their scent a mix of leather and earth. I tried to focus on the trail, but my mind kept drifting to the stranger who'd appeared like some mythic savior. Their camp was a small clearing by a creek, a fire already crackling. Sage handed me a canteen and a blanket, their movements deliberate but kind. "So, Elliot," they said, poking the fire, "what's a guy like you doing out here, lost as a lamb?" I stared into the flames, the weight of the past months spilling out before I could stop it. "Running away, I guess. My ex, he left me without a word. I thought a hike would fix me. Stupid, right?" Sage's eyes softened, but they didn't pity me. "Ain't stupid. This land's got a way of stripping you down to what matters. Sometimes you gotta get lost to find yourself." Their words hit harder than I expected, like they saw through the walls I'd built. We talked as the stars emerged, Sage sharing stories of guiding hikers, wrangling cattle, and growing up queer in a small Utah town. They spoke of love like it was a river, wild, unpredictable, but worth every risk. I found myself hanging on their every word, the firelight casting shadows that danced across their face. When the night grew quiet, Sage offered me their spare bedroll. I lay awake, listening to the creak in Juniper's soft snorts, my heart stirring in a way I hadn't felt since Ryan. Sage was a stranger, yet their presence felt like a tether, grounding me in a way the trail never could. Morning broke with a chill that seeped through the blanket. Sage was already up, brewing coffee over the fire. "Sleep okay?" they asked, handing me a tin mug. "Barely," I admitted, sipping the bitter brew. "Kept thinking about coyotes." They grinned, tossing their hat onto a stump. "You're tougher than you look, Elliot. Most city boys would have panicked worse." We ate a simple breakfast of jerky and apples, the silence between us comfortable but charged. I caught myself watching Sage. The way their hands moved with purpose, the way their eyes crinkled when they laughed. I wasn't ready to name the feeling, but it was there, warm and insistent. Sage saddled Juniper and led us toward the trailhead, the valley unfolding in morning light. As we rode, they pointed out landmarks, a twisted juniper tree, a hawk circling above. Their voice was a steady current, pulling me out of my head. But the closer we got to the trailhead, the heavier my chest felt. I didn't want this, whatever this was, to end. At the trailhead, my car sat like a relic from another life. I slid off Juniper, my legs shaky. "Guess this is it," I said, forcing a smile. "Thanks, Sage. You saved my ass." They tipped their hat, but their eyes held mine a beat too long. "You ever get lost again, you know where to find me." I drove back to Seattle that day, Sage's words echoing in my mind. The city felt louder, harsher, like it didn't fit me anymore. I tried to settle back into my routine. Design deadlines, coffee runs, late-night scrolling, but Sage's face kept surfacing. Their laugh, their steady hands, the way they'd made me feel seen. A week later, I couldn't take it. I found myself Googling Zion Trail guides, scouring social media for Sage Navarro. Their profile was sparse, just a few photos of them with Juniper or leading groups through the valley. But one post caught my eye, a picture of the creek at their camp, captioned, "Some folks get lost, some get found." I messaged them, my fingers trembling. "Hey, it's Elliot, the idiot hiker. You free for coffee if I swing by Utah again?" Their reply came hours later, simple but electric. "Make it whiskey and you've got a deal." I returned to Zion 2 weeks later, my heart a tangle of nerves and hope. Sage met me at a dusty bar in Springdale, their hat tilted just so. "Didn't think you'd come back," they said, sliding a glass my way. "Didn't think I'd have a reason to," I shot back, and their laugh lit up the room. We talked for hours, the bar fading around us. Sage opened up about their past. A conservative family who'd never understood them. A first love who'd left them for a simpler life. I shared more about Ryan, the way his silence had made me doubt myself. With every word, the space between us shrank, until our knees brushed under the table and neither of us pulled away. Outside, under a sky heavy with stars, Sage took my hand. "You're not lost anymore, are you?" they asked, their voice barely above a whisper. I shook my head, my throat tight. "Not when I'm with you." They kissed me then, slow and deliberate, like they were staking a claim. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a promise, a map to something new. I kissed them back, my hands finding their waist, the world narrowing to the warmth of their lips and the pulse of my own heart. The next month was a whirlwind. I started driving to Utah every weekend, trading Seattle's rain for Sage's sunlit valleys. We hiked together, rode juniper, camped under stars that felt brighter with them beside me. Sage taught me how to read the land, tracks in the dirt, the way clouds hinted at rain. I taught them about design, sketching their face in my notebook when they weren't looking. But the distance was a shadow we couldn't ignore. Seattle was my home, my job, my life. Sage belonged to the valley. Their roots sunk deep in its red earth. We avoided the topic until one night, by their campfire, Sage's voice turned serious. "Elliot, what are we doing? You've got a life up north. I can't leave this place." My stomach twisted. "I don't know," I admitted. "I just know I don't want to lose you." They looked away, their jaw tight. "Love's a risk. Always has been. But I've lost too much to pretend it's easy." The words hung between us, heavy with truth. I wanted to argue, to promise I'd move, that we'd figure it out. But I saw the fear in their eyes, the same fear I'd felt with Ryan, the fear of being left again. Weeks later, I made a choice. I quit my job, packed my apartment, and drove to Utah with a plan half-formed and a heart full of hope. Sage met me at their camp, their eyes wide with disbelief. "You're crazy," they said, but their smile betrayed them. "Crazy for you," I replied, and they pulled me into a kiss that tasted like dust and home. We built a life together piece by piece. I found freelance work, designing for local businesses. Sage kept guiding, their love for the valley infectious. We faced whispers from town, some kind, some cruel, but we held tight to each other. Love, I learned, wasn't just a feeling. It was a choice, a fight, a promise to stay even when the trail got rough. One evening, as we sat by the creek, Sage carved our initials into a wooden signpost, the same one I'd seen that first night. "This," they said, tracing the letters, "is our map. Wherever we go, we'll find our way." I leaned against them, the valley stretching before us, and knew I wasn't lost anymore. I'd found more than a cowboy. I'd found a home.